Welcome to From Classroom to Closings. Class is in session. Today's training session will be about how to complete a GAR form F110, the Executive Buyer Brokerage Engagement Agreement. A GAR, Georgia Association of Realtors Buyer Brokerage Agreement, is a legally binding contract that officially establishes a client-agent relationship and defines the agent's fiduciary duties, services, and exact compensation. In Georgia, real estate law mandates that agents secure a written agreement before representing a buyer in a transaction. Here are the training objectives: to understand every section of the agreement, explain terms confidently to buyers, reduce compensation disputes, and maintain Georgia compliance. Why does this agreement matter? Georgia law requires a written agreement before client representation. It establishes agent relationship, it defines compensation and expectations, and it protects both buyer and broker. Section A outlines the key terms and conditions, the foundation of the agreement, representation, term, agency, compensation, and the protective period. Exclusive representation. The buyer hires broker exclusively. The buyer should not work with other agents. It creates fiduciary duties. This agreement allows agents to legally represent and protect the interests of the buyers. Term of the agreement. Start and end dates may extend if the buyer is under contract. Discuss reasonable term length with clients. Agency relationships. Buyer agent represents the buyer only. Designated agency, buyer or seller, separate agents. So they represent both the buyer, what represents the buyer or seller with separate agents. Dual agency, buyer and seller. They represent both. Sub-agency, broker or agent assists the buyer but legally represents the seller through the listing broker. The buyer is the customer and the seller is the client. Please be sure to explain each before obtaining signatures. Always review the agent brochure. Dual agency discussion. The broker may represent both sides. Confidential information remains protected. Buyer consent is required. Explain limitation on advocacy. Compensation overview. Compensation is negotiable. Can be paid by the buyer, seller, or seller's broker. Buyer is responsible for unpaid balance. Review affordability before submitting offers. Explaining compensation to buyers. Here's a way you can explain. Our compensation may be paid by the seller, but if it is not fully covered, the agreement explains how the remaining amount will be handled. Protected period. This continues after the agreement expires. Protects brokers from avoidance. Applies the properties shown during the agreement. Training tip. Track all properties shown. This is very important. Lease compensation. Separate lease and compensation may apply. Leasing does not eliminate purchase compensation obligation. Broker duties. Locate suitable properties, make disclosures, assist with negotiations, complete pre-printed forms, comply with Georgia law. These are the duties of the broker. Here are some buyer duties. Communicate promptly, provide accurate information, read documents, work exclusively with broker, disclose prior brokerage relationships. Broker limitations. We are not home inspectors, not attorneys, not engineers or surveyors. We encourage professional inspections and legal advice. Limitation of liabilities. Broker liability is limited by agreement. Cyber fraud exposure is limited. Explain that broker is not guaranteeing third-party information. Fraud and cybersecurity. Verify wiring instructions by phone. Never trust last-minute email changes. Watch for spoofed email addresses. Discuss wire fraud with every client. Identity theft and seller fraud. Be careful for and watch for vacant land scams, which are increasing. Encourage and enhance titles insurance and verify seller identity when possible. Arbitration and legal provision. Many disputes resolve through arbitration. Attorney fees may be awarded. Georgia law governs agreement. Buyers may owe compensation if the buyer defaults, the buyer cancels the agreement, buyer purchases during the protected period, compensation remains unpaid at closing, so the buyer may still owe compensation if any of these apply. Here are some agent best practices. Review every section, initial key discussions in writing, keep records of all properties shown, document compensation discussions, and deliver all required brochures. In closing, the agreement simply explains our working relationship, your rights, my duties, and how compensation works, so there are no surprises during a home search. So we're going to practice filling out a blank F110 form, executive buyer brokerage engagement agreement. Okay, here is a sample of the buyer brokerage engagement agreement. In section 2, you will enter the beginning and ending dates of the agreement. Whatever day the agreement starts, you will enter it here. When it ends, you will enter here. In section 3, the following are types of agencies not offered by your broker. My broker does not offer sub-agency, so I will check here. Your broker may not offer another type of agency. In part B of section 3, you will check buyer consents to the broker acting in a dual capacity as the agent relationship is explained in section B3B. In section 4, this is where you outline your compensation. Right here, you will check and write the percentage amount, and here you will actually write the number. So these are the words, this is the number. In section 4C3, if you have other fees that you are charging, such as an administrative fee, you will check here and enter that amount. In section 4D, you will check buyer does direct the broker to seek to get seller or seller's broker to pay all or a portion of the broker's commission compensation above. Okay. Then we will go down to section 4F. This talks about if the buyer leases a property that you have previously shown, you are still due to compensation. And I usually put, you can put whatever you want. I usually put 500, and then I would say that it is due upon move-in date. Okay. Then we will go to section 4G, where it talks about the protected period. This is the protected period. Once the agreement has ended, you have a protected period for a certain amount of days indicated here. I usually choose 90 days. So if the agreement ends or it is unilaterally terminated by the buyer, I am still due compensation. Okay. Section B of the agreement, it just further explain everything in the paragraphs in section A. Section C outlines other terms and conditions. It kind of defines what broker duties to the buyers are, what are buyer duties, etc. Here are some other key terms. It talks about disclosures. And here are some other terms. What is arbitration? What is assignability, attorney fees, broker fees? What is a broker, etc. Here's further definitions and terms and conditions. Okay, on page 7 of the agreement, when you get down to the brochures, these are the different brochures you can attach to the agreement to send to the potential buyer. I always include at least the ABCs of agencies. I include protect yourself when buying real property and what to consider when buying real property in a community association. You can select as many brochures that you would like to send attached to the agreement that you send to the customer because they're not your client until they sign this agreement. So if they are thinking about purchasing a home to be constructed, you would attach protect yourself when buying a home to be constructed. If they're purchasing an older home where there may be lead or anything like that, you will attach those brochures and pamphlets. So just kind of go through this and see what may pertain to your potential buyer. And at the very bottom, it has special stipulations. So you will add any stipulations or anything you would like to add to the agreement. And here's the fun part, buyer's acceptance and contact information. You will type the buyer's name, the buyer's address, indicate whether you're going to enter a cell number or home number, and the buyer's email address. And if there's more than one buyer, of course, you would do that on this side. Down at the bottom, you will enter your brokerage firm, type your name, date, licensee phone number, your phone number. If you have a fax machine, your email address, your Georgia real estate license number, and your realtor membership. Okay, and if you have this information, the MLS office code, the brokerage firm license number, the broker's phone number, fax number, and address. You want to fill this form out completely. You do not want to ever leave any blanks in your agreement. Okay, so that is how you fill out a BBA, which is your buyer brokerage agreement. If you have any further questions, please reach out to me, send me a text, or call me. If you would like to join my team, please join my team. Give me a call. I will be glad to add you to my team. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.